First, we're going to have you introduce yourself, so name, job title, anything else you want to let us know about yourself.
Chris Bromley, and I'm a member of the Directors Guild of America. I'm a line producer and unit production manager. I have several producer credits on other films, but predominantly I work in those positions. If I am not sitting at camera, I'm usually working with, crew members, trying to help them, change in their equipment, change in their staffing, giving them, approvals or signing paperwork. Or I work out of a mobile, office, a trailer, on set when I'm not needed actually there. But I try to stay close to the crew so I can answer their questions instead of them trying to find me. I look at my job more of not just saying no all the time, but saying yes in a way in which the spend puts the money on the screen, and try to, be, preactive, to use a word that doesn't exist, and contemplate what could transpire throughout the day that you might want to be able to have a contingency plan to cover. So it's that analytical and logistical juggling that makes it for very challenging. I attended Mississippi State University and majored in business administration. My interest in photography landed me a job on a film working in the locations department, going out and photographing locations. And that one thing led to another through moving up to managing the locations department, then working in production and as a production assistant and a second AD and a second AD and a first AD, and then moving up to be unit production manager. Most recently, I've worked on The Conjuring, which was shot here in Wilmington, North Carolina, with New Line and Warner Brothers. A very successful film. We were #1 in the box office for quite some time and have done quite well in box office sales and video sales worldwide. After that, I was the unit production manager on a film that has just recently been released called Tammy, starring Melissa McCarthy and Susan Sarandon. And after that, I worked with NBC Universal on Red Zone, and currently I'm preparing a film called The Choice, which is a Nicholas Sparks film. As far as some of the biggest accomplishments in my career, I think the horse release scene at the end of Hidalgo that I organized would have been one of them, and the car chase in Born Supremacy would be one of them. I think the most favorite to organize and pull off, and it took a long time, was organizing the horse release sequence at the end. I mean, that took 6 weeks, 7 weeks to put together. Just preparing it and shooting it took 3 days. We had to organize the arrival of the horses on the horse trucks, and we had to build corrals at the top of a ridge just outside of Browning, Montana. And the horses had to come off the truck. They had to be checked by a veterinarian. They had to be hoof branded. They had to be photographed. They had to be inoculated. And then they had to be sorted into different pens per, male, female, or colts or whatever. And then from that point on, we would sort horses we didn't want to use, and then we would transfer them down to another holding corral where we would start working with them on a daily basis in order to teach them how to move as a herd for about 3.5 miles. And so you would fence off maybe 500 yards of it and move them 500 yards and then bring them back. And you do this by hay and water. They go this direction, they eat hay. They come back this direction, they get water. The next day maybe it's different. And then they had to learn how to trot as a group, and then to run as a group so that it was controllable. It takes a lot to move 2,000 head of horses around, and train them, and a lot goes into it. And we did that and never injured any animals in the making of that film. My favorite thing about the film industry, it does let people who are creative and business-minded come together in one arena versus a lot of industry. If you're tech, you're tech. If you're manufacturing, you're manufacturing. But in the film industry, tech, manufacturing, and creative all come together to produce/manufacture a product that is entertaining. If I was to guide someone to get into film, I would say have great expectations, but be humble, because from humble beginnings, great things can happen. It just takes a little while to start. You're going to have to do things you don't want to do, things that you think that are beneath you. But I've seen many, many people come along. It's like anything else. If you want to do it, you can. But it's just going to take some time. And you just want to get your foot in the door in any position, in any department, as a production assistant or a director or producer's assistant, and just do the work and do a good job at it. Be conscious of what you do and listen. listen effectively and communicate well.